Okay, what I want to do is to show you how to import the DWG file that a client sends you into modeling in Form Z so that it is easy for you to create the model. So the first thing we're going to do is go into Form Z, and the way we get the DWG file in is Command I for import. And then we'll just negotiate around to wherever you put your DWG. In my case, I made a folder, and this is it right here. So we just double click on it. You're going to get this dialog box, but just go right along with all of the presets and click OK. And DWGs are large files and usually take a few seconds to come in. And you can see up in the upper left-hand corner here that it is coming in, and there it is. So there are our elevations, a floor plan. Now if you hold the Option and the Command key down, hold them down, and then take your mouse and click hold and move around, you can move in 3D space to look at your DWG file in a different manner. So I just zoomed out a little bit by using either, if you have a scroll wheel or your fingertip on your intelligent mouse. It looks like they've got two floor plans in this particular file and then some little thing hanging out over here. So let's just take and go up here to the selection tool, which is that solid arrow. Go over here to the right hand side where you have tool options. Every time you click on a tool on this side, you'll get a different set of options for that specific tool. But in this particular case, we want to go to the selection tool, make sure that we're clicked into object, and then select the extra floor plan and just hit delete to delete it. Go down here and hit this little guy here and delete it. And then Command F, if you have nothing selected, Command F will get your objects full view. So if you happen to have something selected on that, and you did Command F, it takes that particular object and does full screen. So I just went up here and clicked on this and deselect, and I'm going to do Command F. Now it's the floor plan that we're concerned about first. So drag across it, select it all, copy it, go up to Window, go down to, you probably got an untitled folder open. Form Z opens with one untitled folder. Before we do anything, I want to talk about what you're looking at right here with this grid. So it's indicating the Z-axis as vertical, up and down, the X-axis as left, right, and the Y-axis as forward and back. And this would be what I would consider to be a plan view. And then if you look down here in the bottom left-hand corner, you've got other options. So if you clicked on the second option, you can see that grid flips up, and you would be working in that orientation. If you click the other one, you would be working in the forward-back orientation. And where they all intersect is in virtual space 0, 0, 0. So we'll go back to the plan view, do Command V for paste, kind of just say use clipboard, the object that we copied from the before. Command F to kind of see everything. This is typical with DWG files. They very often come in with lines and fills. And I find it makes it a little difficult to work with. So just simply go up, do Command 3, which is lines only view. Command 2 gets you back to where you started, and Command 1 is I think it's OpenGL render. It's sort of a quick render to kind of see with a little bit of shading on it where your model is going. But go back to view, Command 3. And deselect, and you'll notice that the building started at 0, 0, 0 on that corner. before we do anything else, go over here to the layers palette, and this is indicative of most DWG files. They'll come in with a lot of layers on them, and we really don't need to have all of these layers available. It makes the file larger, and it's slower to work with, slower to move. So holding your control key down, go down here somewhere off of the layers and click on the layer palette, and go down to where it says paste on active layer. You want to select that. Active layer is always indicated by this red dot up here. You can only have one layer active at any one point in time. So that is your active layer. So now do Command A for select all. Go down here, this would not probably your paint bucket is showing, but whatever, down here in the bottom left hand corner, go all the way over to this one, which is layer move, with your layer 1 selected. Just click anywhere in this screen, and you've moved all of the information that's on all these other layers to that one specific layer. Again, holding down the control key, click on the layer and go down to just above paste on active layer and hit purge. You get a dialog box that says remove all empty layers. Click OK, and you'll notice on your layer palette that everything's disappeared except that one layer. So let's double click on layer, and we're going to call it plan. Okay, and then just deselect. Now go up to window and go back to your DWG. We want to start to bring in some of the elevations. So this elevation here is the elevation looking at it in this direction. So that's a good place to start. Let's select it. Let's copy it. Let's go to your window, go back to your untitled folder, and now if I did paste, because we told everything to paste on the active layer, that elevation will come in here. So I'm going to do that. Just Command V for paste, and use clipboard again is fine. Now if you do Command F, well, yeah, if you do Command F, there's that elevation. And just to make it a little bit easier to work with, do Option Command, flip it up a little bit so you can better see it. And I'm just using my finger on my mouse to scroll in closer. Now, remember I pointed out the corner of the building was 0, 0, 0. Well, this corner is that corner. So what I want to do is make sure that object is selected over here. And I'm going to click on that. Oops, I just deselected. Sorry. So I'm going to go out and then drag select across the elevation. What I didn't do, and I should have done, is go down to the move tool, because that's what I want to do. And then zoom back in here, go to that corner and click. Now, without clicking anything, you just move your mouse around. You see you've got it. You've hooked up with it. Now we could sit here and zoom out and drag over and all that baloney. We could do that. But a more efficient way to do it is if you look up in the upper left-hand corner, hit Tab, and you get the X location. Type in 0. Go to Tab over to the Y, 0, and your Z is 0. So just hit Enter. Now let's do Command F to get back to where we are. Okay. So now we've moved that corner of the building, of the elevation, to that corner, and that's fine. So let's quickly, because they're all on the same layer, let's quickly go down here and call this front elevation, and hit Enter. Now we got to move it to that. So let's change the active layer. Go down to your layer move tool and just click. And now that is on the front elevation layer. Now what we need to do is to rotate this up so that it is usable for us. And so rotate, if we rotated here, it would rotate around the horizontal, the base plan axis. That doesn't do us any good. So, but if I went down to the bottom here in the left-hand corner and I did the YZ plane, And now I rotate it, I can rotate this in a correct way. So go to this is the move palette, and these are all various kinds of moves. You want to go to rotate, and you want to zoom in until you can see that corner clearly, and then you see how the green arrow says, okay, that's clicked. You clicked on that corner. So you click on it, now slide away, and you get this rotate tool. And just, you can go up here, and now once you've clicked a second click, and if you look up in the very upper left-hand corner, it's giving you directions as you're going. You know, click to define the angle of rotation, allow snapping, okay. And then you can just go up, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little faint green line there. Well, that's at 90 degrees. So you go up until you get another little green dot appear underneath your cursor, and click. And if we zoom away from it, we see now the orientation of that elevation is correct for us in the model. So that is cool. So now let's go get the elevation that's looking in this way. So we're going to go Window, back to your DWG file, and we're going to locate that elevation, and okay. It's not this one because that's just looking straight in at this portico share to 45. That'll be useful later. But this is, whoops, that's the rotate tool, and I don't want to rotate anything. So undo, go down to get to my selection tool, drag select across the object. And again, for reference, I think this corner is the front corner. So it would be good for us to use that in moving the elevation around. So let's do something before we copy it out of this file, because we know that corner's got to go to 0, 0, 0. Let's select the move tool, zoom in, zoom in kind of close to get that corner, click on it, move a little bit, and then go up and then hit the tab, and hit 0, 0, 0, and enter. Now this is on the DWG file, but you've moved that into kind of the correct location. So go copy. Now move back to your model, or your file, excuse me, and deselect. Now we wanted, if I didn't deselect and I said paste, it would paste in that elevation we just copied and remove the front elevation. So we want to keep the front elevation. So what we can do, anticipating that we're going to be putting in that new elevation, let's go ahead right now and make a new layer, call it side elevation, enter, make it the active layer, and now do paste, and voila, there's that elevation. Of course, it's got to be rotated along two axes. So let's just zoom in down here, and since this is already set up for us, let's go get the move rotate tool. Zoom in a little bit closer. There we go. Go here, click, and click. Now it's up, but it's still wrong in one axis. So we go over here. We got to rotate it in the plan view. Go back down. Rotate tool is still selected. Go down here, click, slide out to some point that's convenient for you. Go over here and click. Zoom out a little bit so you can see what you got. Okay, now we've got it correct. However, it's buried in the plan, which is really, later on you'll find that it's inconvenient. So go down here to the move tool and just go in and click, on that 0, 0, 0. And see that red line? That red line says to you, okay, that is perfectly in line with where you started. If I'm dragging the mouse, I can drag this anywhere, but if I dragged it out here on that red line and I get on it, green dot appears again. It's just confirming that I'm right on that orientation the way I want it to be. Now do Option Command and rotate around so you can kind of get a sense of what you just did, and there you have it. Okay, so let's start working, to create the model that we want to create.